Hey my lovelies, welcome back to my channel. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, and if you are new, I hope you will stay and you will join the family. This topic is a topic that I haven't covered because it's something that I'm really passionate about, and honestly, like I always have mixed feelings whenever I try to come up with this video and just put it together, because it saddens me, and honestly, I know that this video, I'm not going to just end it with one part. I'm probably going to make like 1, 2, 3 parts of this video because there's a lot to cover. But honestly, what I want to talk about is the Nigerian attitude, like our attitude as Nigerians. It is terrible sometimes. Why are Nigerians like that? I mean, we are sellers of negative image of Nigeria, even more than foreigners. Some of us, we act as if Nigeria is the only place in the world where anything bad is happening. I remember somebody posted one time talking about how a girl was given a wrong type of blood, and only in Nigeria can this happen, and blah blah blah. So the person said, this babe's death hurts so much, man. I've been thinking about it since I heard the news this morning and I can't get it out of my mind. Nigeria is such a terrible place to live in. Blood transfusion mismatch in a hospital in Big 2024. And everybody actually came out to say that guy was just passing wrong information, that rarely ever happens. I don't know why I don't want to believe this. There are protocols for transfusion reaction, and you will already all the antidotes before transfusion. The health workers knows the reactions. There might be another thing that caused what happened to the patient. That person said, I am so sorry for your loss. However, transfusion reactions still happen with compatible blood type. It is not always a mismatch. There are mild, moderate, and severe reactions. There may be other factors like not getting through enough observation during the transfusion to pick the reaction early enough. Again, Nigeria is not a terrible place to live. God bless you, sis. God bless you. Ifunanya, you are amazing. You know what? As in, this is another thing that just makes me, I don't know. Most Nigerians, immediately they saw that tweet, they would jump on Nigeria is every place to live. Nigeria has happened to you. They would never give the benefit of the doubt to maybe, it was incompatibility. Maybe it was reactions. Blood transfusion is a big deal. Maybe something else happened. No. They are just always happy. I don't know what it is that just gives people joy. Just click jump on, yes, Nigeria happened to them. That is it. They don't even want to consider that maybe something else happened at Nigerian hospital, because everything is checked, that it is so rare a blood to be mismatched. We always have these people. Let me read the comments. If you know how bad the health sector is in this country, then you will understand why the church is filled with people looking for healing. Now there are people be feeling they didn't pray enough or something. Okay. This one said, if you experience the medical sector in Nigeria and you come out perfect, you don't know what God has done for you. These people always make me laugh, because if you come out perfect, don't know what God has done for you. I'm just wondering what you have to say, or what he has to say to the 30,000 patients in the UK that were transfused with blood that was infected with HIV and hepatitis C. I wonder what he has to say to them. Like the way some people in this country just go, I mean, like, is it a form of complex that these people are dealing with? Does it make them feel like they are better when they make this type of comments? Because I don't understand. When you have people outside the country always complaining about how long they have to wait for months before they can have access to a doctor to see, while you here, all you just need to have is 3K or something to pay for a card, and you can see a private doctor the same day and get checked out. Like, it's crazy to me. But even if he did, this same person forgot this whole issue of blood transfused patients that were giving blood transfusions in the UK. Thousands of people that were infected with HIV.
Inquiry into the UK's biggest health scandal will release its final report in the coming hours. More than 30,000 people in the UK were infected with HIV and hepatitis C after being given contaminated blood products by the National Health Service in the 1970s and 80s. Many have since died. Others unknowingly passed infections on to partners who then died. Victims and their families have spent decades fighting for compensation.
They knew what was happening. They knew what was going on. It was so preventable. Why they chose to ignore it, I don't know.
Donated blood was never screened before transfusions, and this left nearly 30,000 people infected with severe diseases. An estimated 2,400 patients died after being infected with hepatitis C and HIV.
Like, they were giving blood that was infected with HIV. You would expect that a country like the UK would have screened and rescreened properly blood that they're going to transfuse. Imagine becoming an HIV patient through blood transfusion. And yet, you say only in Nigeria. I remember seeing this stupid clip too on Instagram where somebody was saying this. Let me play it.
Nigeria is the only place a billionaire customer will owe you 50,000 naira. You will confront him. He will use 500,000 naira to give the police to teach you a lesson.
These were some of the replies he got from people who were not even Nigerian. Can you imagine? So this person said, wrong. Nigeria isn't the only place. Come to Kenya and tell a story. When you have time, Google the story of Tob Cohen, a Dutch billionaire who settled in Kenya, married a local lady. His family didn't even recover his underpants. And another person replied him and said, thank you for this comment. Some Nigerians just be doing the most, as if their country must have its worst in any and everything. What is Nigeria is the only place? And the person is rather, as if the country doesn't have enough negative image internationally. Honestly, why the only place as how? Something that happens anywhere and all over the world. The rich has always oppressed the poor. That's how it has always been. And lots of the comments were saying money talk. Somebody even said South Africa with the South African flag. And somebody else said definitely not the only place. LOL. Only in Nigeria would this happen. Really? We're always acting as if like we have it the worst here. I get it. Especially when it comes to our basic amenities and things that, especially as a country that has natural resources, our government should be doing, and we should not be lacking. We should have enough of them, enough of great roads, enough of our electricity supply, and all of these things. I get it. But the point is that why are we always acting as if? I remember this guy that came to Nigeria from the Gambia. What's his name now? This YouTuber. And he came and was like, he was just like, why do Nigerians complain? When he looked at the price of everything, from our fuel to everything. You know, this whole inflation thing, and now everything has skyrocketed in price in Nigeria now. We act as if it's just here. Meanwhile, it's everywhere. Everybody all over the world is complaining. Things are getting expensive by the day. In America now, I'm scared to go food shopping. Everything added $2 to $3. This is Bible prophecy. We have to live prepared. Be blessed.
Trouble at the tills. The price of staple foods has soared in recent months, with as many as 2 in every 5 Britons now buying less to eat. And for the first time in 40 years, inflation, the gradual increase in the cost of goods and services across a year, rose to 9%, with the Governor of the Bank of England warning of apocalyptic food price hikes.
Inflation data this week confirms that prices at fast food restaurants are on the rise, and consumers, well, they've taken note.
It's getting out of hand out here, bro. I'm gonna have to just start eating ramen noodles like college.
America is facing a staggering food crisis. 1 in 10 Americans can't put enough food on their tables.
Again, please. I am not in any way making any excuses for the government or anything. No. But I'm just trying to say that if you keep bad-mouthing the country every single time just because of the government of the country, remember that they are not the ones that pay the price for the negative image you keep painting, especially in the diaspora. The government are not the one paying the price. The ordinary Nigerian like you and me are the ones paying the price. They are the ones that will get rejected from jobs, especially outside the country, especially in the diaspora. They are the ones that will get, profiled somewhere. They are the ones that will get that will lose opportunities on the basis of the stereotypes, on the basis of the bad press that you have pushed as a Nigerian. So how would you blame them when these people come and they are like, after all, your fellow Nigerian said this. After all, your fellow Nigerian sister said this. Do you guys know I saw a comment under a video? God, I'm going to look for that comment. I'm going to look for that video. I'm going to put it up because it brought tears to my eyes. This lady was American and she came to Nigeria. I saw a comment under a post of a lady who is also not Nigerian, but she came to Nigeria on tourism and she visited so many beautiful places in the country. That made me realize that most of us just live our whole lives in Lagos and just visit some places. But Nigeria is so big, 36 states. There's so many beautiful places in this country that I would never go. But don't let me digress. So under that video, I saw a comment from a lady. And she said she is American and that she always wanted to visit Nigeria, but she was discouraged by Nigerians who lived in her flat and who were also classmates, telling her how terrible it is, why they will never go back home, why this and this and this. So imagine if people who are from that country are bad-mouthing it that way to you. Can it be anybody's fault if you believe it 100% and you also start being afraid? Can anybody blame you? Because the people from that country are the last people who are supposed to badmouth it and discourage you that much, except it is completely true. But this lady said after watching some videos online, even from non-Nigerians that were visiting Nigeria, she decided to come herself and that she enjoyed her stay, that she had such a good time, the Nigerians were so great to her, and Guys, what saddened me most about that comment was that she now said that when she went back, after her vacation, she went back, that she was actually afraid to talk about it, like among friends and all of that, that Nigeria is not that bad and she enjoyed herself. That she was actually afraid to say anything positive, that because she was afraid of being attacked. That she was afraid, that so she was just following along with everything they were saying. That she was afraid to say anything opposite. That because she felt that she'd be attacked, even though she actually enjoyed her stay and she had a nice time. Can you imagine? Can you imagine? Guys, there are this family that I've been seeing on YouTube recently. God, I hope that I can find them. I really hope so. They are a family. They relocated from Nigeria. They relocated from the UK to Nigeria. And they talked about all of the reasons why they actually find Nigeria better than the UK. I gave this reply to a comment somebody said about, why did she leave and all of that. And she said, we are still in Nigeria. It is the best decision we ever made as a family. I am happy to see my children thriving. Nigeria has got its challenges, but it is our country and heritage. There is nothing wrong with the children being in Nigeria. It is part of our identity. And they gave a lot of reasons. Some of them is just the safety of knowing that their children can go to school and come back and they are not afraid of shootings, everybody either stabbings or owning guns or all of these things. She also talked about how peer-on-peer violence is a real thing in the UK. So that is like children of the same age group, maybe the same classmates, stabbing each other or things like that. And, it gets parents worried for the safety of their children whenever they leave home, And these are people who lived in the UK before we decided to relocate to Nigeria. What about Bayo Adio? He's also a YouTuber. Who is a US citizen, but he's living in Nigeria and relocated with his whole family. And I remember that one of the things he said was that the peace that comes from knowing that when children go to school, they can come back. Because again, we know that the US has been out of control with mass shootings. Even a 6-year-old took a gun to school and shot his teacher. Like, children are literally graduating with trauma from the US now. We are talking about a country that has more mass shootings than number of days in a year. We have 365 days in a year. And was that not last year or this year? By the time they got to the middle of the year, there had been over 400 mass shootings already in one country. And so it's normal that people are paranoid and that people are afraid. And so when Bayo Adio said that, it made sense to me. He talked about the peace and how safe he feels here. This is the same country where people badmouth as if you cannot even walk on the road. Every time I have an appointment, I leave my house by 5:30 every morning. In the dark, just me and my head, and I'm going. Does that mean that things cannot happen? Of course it can. But my point is also that people should stop talking about these things as if they must happen. If you go out at this time, you must get carried. You must get kidnapped. You must get essayed. We need to do better. Before they post anything, Nigerians already be on that comment section, be like, this can only happen in Nigeria. In a developed world, in a developed country, this will not be like this. In a developed that, this will not do this. Am I saying that Nigeria is not, all of these things are not happening, that these countries don't have working systems that are better? Of course. But you people need to stop acting as if my ear started affecting me, like was really disturbing, and I was just ear pain on both ears. So I just decided to go to a private hospital. I tried some hospitals, their consultation fee alone was 45,000. I was like, this is too expensive. I finally found an ENT clinic, and the consultation fee was just 15,000 naira. And after my consultation, I was asked to come back to have my ears, you know, flushed out, and I paid another 15k for that. And then I got some medications. Overall, I spent about 35,000 for the whole procedure for the 2 weeks I went back and forth. What am I trying to say? If I was in Canada or somewhere else and I had to see, I'm going to have to wait. People are going through things too, but in this country with a tenth of that money, you can see, of course, again, I'm not saying that maybe, oh, that money might feel much for some people, but on average, these are things that you probably will be able to do in this country. Like, I'm still going to make a detailed video on this topic, but the main thing I want to say is that let us do better as Nigerians. It is terrible the way some of us behave. I don't get it. Or some of you feel that by constantly bad-mouthing and bashing the country, you are elevating yourself above the problem. No, you think it makes you better than other Nigerians. It doesn't. It doesn't. Like, you people will be painting your country such a bad way, and then you are surprised when foreigners do the same thing. Or you are surprised when you now travel outside the country and you are treated like trash. For maybe a comment that you are the one that made it online and that person saw it and read it somewhere. And then he sees you and he's like, oh, these are Nigerians that person was talking about. I mean, that person was even you. Let us do better. Some of us I don't know. That was how Drew Brinsky made a list of 6 worst cities or countries with the worst traffic in the world. And Nigeria did not make that list. And Nigerians were in the comment section going, how did Nigeria not make this list? Lagos traffic is the worst, da 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 da. And even though, you know, in corner of my mind too, I was kind of expecting Lagos to make that list. But then I called myself back and I was like, why do I think Lagos would make that list? How many places have I been to? You know, like, if you've not seen other places, if you've not been to other places, you would think you have it the worst until you've been to other places. This guy has been to all the countries of the world, and he's saying Lagos, Nigeria does not even make the top 10 list. But you that you have never left that small state in Lagos self, that you probably have never even left Lagos self, you are carrying it all over the internet that Lagos has the worst traffic. You that you have never been anywhere, you have never been outside your state, not even talk of being outside Nigeria. These are the issues. We are always acting like we have it the worst. We are always acting like our place, it is the worst here. It can never be this bad anywhere else. Nigeria is the last bus stop for whatever. Meanwhile, worst, more terrible things are going on in different parts of the world. Right? What's it called? Protests are going on in Kenya. You know, genocides are going on in Sudan. We can't even talk about what's going on in Congo. Things are happening, horrible, horrible things in many different parts of the countries of the world, especially on the continent of Africa and even across the world. Yet, they do not badmouth their country half as you people do, as some of you do as Nigerians. Why? It doesn't make sense to me every single time. I get it that things are happening in the country. And even if you are going to address those issues, let us address them and make constructive criticisms. All in all, I am not saying to not address the government, to not speak out to inadequacies that needs to be remedied. Please, I'm not saying that, and this is not a defense of the government, okay? But making comments online such as Nigeria is such a terrible place to live, comments like only in Nigeria can this be like this, discouraging people when you travel outside the country, discouraging people from visiting your country, telling them how terrible it is there, they should not go there. Like, these are just unbelievably ridiculous things that bring shame on us as a people, especially when foreigners are giving more of positive press than we are. I am not saying we shouldn't say things when they need to be said, but all of these things are just not right, and no, we can do better. Because despite everything, Nigeria is still a beautiful place to live. It is still a beautiful country. Anyways, that's what I'm going to say for this video. Don't forget to like the video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye, guys.